Hello, fellow listener. I hope you're doing well, you're safe, and happy. It's a strange world out there at the moment, full of uncertainty with this whole pandemic thing and the death of our social lives. The loneliness, boredom, and frustration of being locked in can really get the best of us. So it is my aim that by the end of this video, these privileged words that are now entering your brain will bless you with a flash of optimism, love, hope, and if anything, understanding. While many of you listening may be feeling fine or even amazing inside your own skulls, I know that there are those that may be feeling like these are shitty times, and that there's nothing to feel good about. Just yesterday morning, I saw the news that a mental health crisis is developing in the US due to the world situation, with depression, anxiety, and addiction rates rising rapidly. So, with all this empty time in my hands, I've decided to share, from my soul to yours, my experience and opinion about the two storms that are rattling lots of people's minds right now: depression and anxiety. Both depression and anxiety are states of consciousness that pretty much every human being experiences, at least briefly. And they suck. They are debilitating, making your life feel like it's a tragedy and that you're living in a hellish, dystopian reality. You forget what it's like to be at peace, to feel young and happy, and everything seems pointless and forced. I know those waters all too well, having sailed through them during different points of my life, and sometimes for months. It's a pain to be in them, but there's a way to navigate to calmer seas with bright blue skies, and I'll share with you what worked for me. I wouldn't wish depression upon anyone in this world. It's something that I think no person deserves to go through, and yet lots of us do. Depression is like mosquitoes. It's a part of this reality that seems to have been created for no other point but to annoy your brief existence. When you have it, you may look alive to others but feel dead inside. Nothing interests you besides sleeping, eating, and losing yourself in endless thoughts of self criticism and loathing. Things that used to interest you now seem like wastes of time, and people that love you annoy you and make you just want to be left alone. Your thoughts spiral down to darkness. You lose touch with meaning and purpose and see yourself sinking into the quicksands of sadness, guilt, apathy, and resentment. Depression distorts your perception to see reality as hell. It is the dark night of the soul in the truest sense. A night that at least 20% of young adults go through, with numbers steadily rising. Anxiety, on the other hand, is a very similar condition, in that it also distorts your perception of reality to make it seem more menacing. Anxiety makes the mind fear the future, to think the worst in each passing moment. The anxious person cannot find peace within himself, drowning at moments with thoughts of paranoia. At its worst, it can make you lose trust in the people who love you, in the future, and even in your own body's health. Your fight or flight reaction, the most instinctual response in our biology, is constantly triggered, making you act like a scared reptile instead of the intelligent, creative, and emotionally complex primate that you really are. You simply cannot stay chill internally and have made fear your neutral state of consciousness. This wears your body and mind out because you're not getting the peace and relaxation necessary for your body to repair itself. Which is why anxiety and depression seem to go hand in hand. They both feed back on each other by debilitating your energy in different ways. If you've ever experienced this, or are currently experiencing it, I send out a big telepathic hug to you because it sucks so much to be in the darkness and really puts your strength to the test. You need to know that there are ways out, like I myself found, and understanding the why this is happening to you is the first step. You know, one of the things that is very unique about depression and anxiety is that we don't ask for help to heal. If we were to break an ankle, or start vomiting in the middle of the night, or notice we're going blind, you'd go tell someone and seek help as soon as it happens. Depression and anxiety, on the other hand, make you feel shame, and so you hide it. You feel guilty, that somehow it's your fault for falling in these states of consciousness, or that you deserve them. The social stigma for mental illnesses also doesn't help, as some people, especially the ignorant and neurotic ones, do indeed see them as self-imposed. This being so, many people hide their mental distress under a mask and force themselves to appear fine. And I get it. The shame is real, let alone the apathy that depression gives you that makes you not even want to help yourself. You figure you're just better off letting yourself rot. But, speaking from experience, whatever your negative depressive thoughts suggest you to do, you need to do the opposite. When you feel that you shouldn't tell anyone about your crippling existential thoughts because no one will understand you, that's when you need to ask for help. When you feel that you just want to stay in bed and soak in your misery, that's when you need to get up, brush your teeth, and get yourself out of your room. When you feel like eating garbage food and refined sugars all day while watching Netflix or playing video games, that's when you need to eat a salad, drink a ton of water, and go out for a run. When you feel that your friends hate you, that your romantic partner is betraying you, or that your family doesn't care about you, that's when you need to reach out to them and open up about what's up. Because in your heart you know they love you, but your depressive, paranoid mind twists your perception and tells you otherwise, as if you're under some curse. Unless it's clear that they don't care about you, in which case, leave it. But essentially, you need to will yourself into doing exactly the opposite of what your depression tells you, even if you feel like shit and it seems stupid. Now, there are obvious steps to take when you're sinking into the quicksand that should be said. If you feel you need professional help, go to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Without question, go for it. Professional therapy is one of the best tools out there to navigate your storm. Some other obvious steps to feel better are to stop isolating yourself and connect with people, to eat healthier and get exercise, get enough sleep, and spend time out in nature. You need to act on this and help yourself, because in a way, depression is really a fight for your life. This is all perfect to start the climb out of the pit, but I'm here to share what really helped me break through the darkness. For me, the thing that helped slay the demons was understanding what my depression and anxiety told me about myself and why it's happening. There's so many triggers that can cause depression and anxiety. It may come from traumatic experiences in the past, or from how you've been treated by others. It might have something to do with your biology. It could be a chemical imbalance in your nervous system that makes you not function right. Or it might be from being overloaded with stress and tension from whatever work or studying you do. But when it gets to the point that it cripples you for a long time, when it gets to the point of making life meaningless and gray, that's when I think the causes go beyond these things. That's when you have to think more deeply about why this is happening to you. So, here's the understanding that did it for me. Depression and anxiety is a spiritual illness. It goes beyond your environment, the people around you, or your biology. It is a confusion of the soul, a loss of direction and willpower. This is why, even in modern medicine and psychology, there's still not a precise explanation of why we feel like dying some days. What I've come to realize is that these states of consciousness are closely related to some of the deepest questions we have about life. Questions like, why am I existing? What is my purpose? Why is the world the way it is? And what's the point of it all? These are deep, philosophical questions that have haunted every human soul throughout history. Well, the answers you hold to these very questions might give you a clue to why you're so depressed or anxious. For me, depression was like trying to solve a puzzle. I felt that if I could just solve this puzzle, I'd be reborn, that I'd feel happy and at peace. If I could just solve it, I would enter into paradise of actually living an awesome life. But the puzzle was hard, and it consisted of these questions. What makes my life worth living? Who am I? And what am I truly meant to do here? When you feel lost about these questions, you lose meaning in your life. Depression persuades you to conclude that there are no answers to these questions, that it's pointless, so why bother? So you lose hope in yourself and let the forces of entropy and self-pity take you under. But you know that's not what you want. Deep down, you just want to be happy, to have meaning and direction. You know, Jim Carrey said something brilliant that really helps you understand what's going on. He said, depression is your body saying, fuck you. I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. In a way, this is what depression is. You're not happy with the way you are, the things you're doing, the mask you wear around other people. You want to feel a change, a transformation. You want to move into a life that really fits who you are. Same thing with anxiety. You're riddled with so many contradictions and fears that you've lost a sense of who you are. But who are you? Who the fuck am I? That's the question that would revolve around my mind when I was feeling depressed. And the reason why I say depression is a spiritual illness is because really it's a loss of meaning. And the same goes for anxiety. Like, you have given your life a meaning that is distorted and that is making you suffer. You know, with depression, you believe that life and your reality is a sad, uh, unfortunate, infinite chain of events. And as for anxiety, you think that the universe and everything that happens to you is dangerous and is scary, and you're just in a perpetual state of fight or flight. But these all come from beliefs, these all come from thought patterns that you have ingrained in your mind, either from some past experience or something someone else told you or whatever. But here's what I have to say. Here's what helped me. I don't care what religious background you have, if you believe in God or not, or whatever beliefs you hold about life. I was an atheist myself for a big part of my life, but here's my 2 cents on who you really are. You at your core are much, much more than anything your mind can think of as your identity. You are much more than your name, your career, how other people think of you, your ego, your personality. Because behind all that shit is awareness. You are awareness. As you're listening to these words right now, they are entering your consciousness, and that's how you register them. And everything in your life is in consciousness. That's what life is. Life is consciousness. You are consciousness. And what this consciousness is, even science can't really tell. It's like a mysterious thing that nobody has agreed upon yet. But that's what we are. And that's what, throughout the ages, people have thought of as the soul. And though it's something very mysterious, I can tell you this: you are a divine force. Consciousness, which is what you truly are, is something that has existed for eternity. It has existed since the universe was born. And that's what you are. You are literally a constellation of atoms that is aware of itself. You are a part of the universe that is experiencing itself subjectively, reflecting on itself, thinking about itself, and everyone around you is that too. And in the deepest sense, this might sound like hippie talk, but I think everyone can feel in their hearts that this is true. We are all connected, we are all one, we are all one consciousness. So, why just suspend your judgment, suspend your rationale, and for 5 minutes at least, feel that reality? Feel that sense that you are something much bigger than what your mind, what your depressive thoughts tell you are. And just feel it. Sit with it. Try to believe it. Now, if you do that and you really feel it, you're going to immediately feel a slight change in how you feel. You're probably going to feel better, more present, and you might even start loving yourself a little bit more. But just keep doing it. Do it as an experiment. And I assure you, do it for a week, 10 minutes a day, and you might feel a difference. You're gonna feel a difference in how you think, how you feel, how you act, what happens around you. And that's the first step. Like, for me, that was the first step, like sinking into what I really am and giving up that character, as Jim Carrey said, that avatar that I'm not happy with anymore. And there's the other question: what am I meant to do with this in this life? What is really the point of my life? And no one is going to come to you. I can't even tell you what your purpose is. Because really, your purpose is something that you have to discover within yourself. No one is going to come to you and tell you what you are. No one is going to come to you and tell you what you're supposed to do, what your profession should be, how you should spend your time. That's really something that has to come from the heart, because the universe didn't create human beings like we create toys in a factory. No two human being is the same. You are unique. No one has ever been exactly as you are, and no one will ever be again. You are as unique as anything, like your fingertip, your fingerprint. But my point is that if you're unique, if you're a unique human being, then your purpose is also unique. You're not going to have the same purpose as the person next to you. And that's why I say you have to look for it within yourself. And here's how I did it. Think about anything that makes you happy. Think about anything that when you do it, it makes you be in the moment, makes you feel like you're flowing and happy and just enjoying yourself. Think about when you were a kid. What did you do as a kid that made you have so much fun and and made you feel as if life was play? And if you reflect on that, then you're gonna start navigating, getting closer to what you're supposed to be doing, what your dharma is. Um, for me, I like drawing since I was a kid, so I knew that, as a kid, I would have so much fun, and it really felt like it was something that was natural for me to draw. And so now I just follow that intuition and just paint and draw and make art. And when I do it, even though, I don't know if people will start appreciating it more or if I'm going to get really far into it, but I do it because it makes me happy and it gives me purpose. And everyone has something like that. You have something like that. So I think part of getting yourself out of the spiritual illness, the loss of meaning that characterizes depression, is really looking for those answers within yourself. Looking for, what do I feel my purpose is, and who am I? Now, here's something you should try, and try it as an experiment. Just for 5 minutes, sit down with yourself and think of yourself as a god or a goddess that has no limits. Anything is possible to you, anything is within your reach. You can be and do and have anything that you want, any experience that you want. And just close your eyes and feel it. Feel it as if it's now real, as if it's now your reality, right here, right now, not tomorrow, but now. Use your imagination, visualize it, whatever you need to do to fill your consciousness, your awareness with the feeling that that which you want to be, that person that you want to be, that you are that now. You have that now. And just feel that in awareness, feel it in consciousness with emotion. And if you do this for at least 5 minutes, try it, just 5 minutes for a week, you're gonna feel something. Something's gonna change. I assure you. Even if everything seems against your favor, even if your circumstances are so dark and so grim and so far from what your goal is, if you just feel it as a reality right now, things are going to start shifting. I assure you. And that's it, that's what I started doing. I just practiced that and just it's like a neuro-linguistic reprogramming of your consciousness that you do by sitting with yourself and affirming to yourself that which you want to think and feel and imagine, and you just keep repeating that until it feels natural. And I assure you, when you start doing that for yourself, it that's the climb out of depression. That's the climb out of anxiety. If you have anxiety, what would it feel if you never had anxiety? What would it feel to have inner peace? And just imagine that and feel it for at least 2 minutes. And if you do that, you're going to start heading in the right direction. So yeah, that's what worked for me. And on a last note, I know it's there's no doubt that those states of consciousness suck, and they feel like quicksand, and they feel impossible to get through. But don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself time, treat yourself better, try to love yourself. If you did any negative shit, if you made any mistakes, treated people badly in the past, forgive yourself, because that's not who you are right now. And every single person, even the worst people in history, all that dark shit that they did it because they were lost. They did it because they were confused and lost and scared. Because every human being in their core is, as Ram Dass said it, loving awareness. And you are loving awareness. You are much bigger than what you think you are. It's unfathomable. It simply cannot be comprehended by the mind what your consciousness really is, who you really are. So just feel that, you know, and and I hope that helps. I hope it inspires you. I'm gonna put some books and some lectures and videos in the description that are pretty similar to what I said in this video, and I hope anyone that feels like shit, whether they're depressed or anxious or just because of this pandemic, um, take care of yourselves. Like, enjoy the present. Go for a walk. Go look at a tree. Go get some sun. Go help your mom cook dinner or whatever. Call a friend, because our egos try to make us act like we have it under control and we're okay, but you have to help yourself and open yourself up. So yeah. Thanks for listening. I love you, and more videos like this will come in the future. Thanks.